Deuteronomy 28. Blessings for obedience. And it must occur that if you will without fail listen to the voice of Jehovah your God by being careful to do all his commandments that I am commanding you today, Jehovah your God also will certainly put you high above all other nations of the earth. And all these blessings must come upon you and overtake you, because you keep listening to the voice of Jehovah your God. Blessed will you be in the city, and blessed will you be in the field. Blessed will be the fruit of your belly, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your domestic beast, the young of your cattle, and the progeny of your flock. Blessed will be your basket and your kneading trough. Blessed will you be when you come in, and blessed will you be when you go out. Jehovah will cause your enemies who rise up against you to be defeated before you. By one way they will come out against you, but by 7 ways they will flee before you. Jehovah will decree for you the blessing on your stores of supply and every undertaking of yours, and he will certainly bless you in the land that Jehovah your God is giving you. Jehovah will establish you as a holy people to himself, just as he swore to you, because you continue to keep the commandments of Jehovah your God, and you have walked in his ways. And all the peoples of the earth will have to see that Jehovah's name has been called upon you, and they will indeed be afraid of you. Jehovah will also make you overflow, indeed, with prosperity in the fruit of your belly, and the fruit of your domestic animals, and the fruitage of your ground, on the ground that Jehovah swore to your forefathers to give to you. Jehovah will open up to you his good storehouse, the heavens, to give the rain on your land in its season, and to bless every deed of your hand. And you will certainly lend to many nations, while you yourself will not borrow. And Jehovah will indeed put you at the head of not at the tail, and you must come to be only on top, and you will not come to be on the bottom, because you keep obeying the commandments of Jehovah your God, which I am commanding you today to observe and to do. And you must not turn aside from all the words that I am commanding you today, to the right or to the left, to walk after other gods, to serve them. And it must occur that if you will not listen to the voice of Jehovah your God, by taking care to do all his commandments and his statutes that I am commanding you today, all these maledictions must also come upon you and overtake you. Cursed will you be in the city, and cursed will you be in the field. Cursed will be your basket and your kneading trough. Cursed will be the fruit of your belly, and the fruitage of your ground, the young of your cattle, and the progeny of your flock. Cursed will you be when you come in, and cursed will you be when you go out. Jehovah will send upon you the curse, confusion, and rebuke in every undertaking of yours that you try to carry out, until you have been annihilated and have perished in a hurry, because of the badness of your practices, and that you have forsaken him. Jehovah will cause the pestilence to cling to you until he has exterminated you from off the ground to which you are going to take possession of it. Jehovah will strike you with tuberculosis, and burning fever, and inflammation, and feverish heat, and the sword, and scorching, and mildew, and they will certainly pursue you until you have perished. Your skies that are over your head must also become copper, and the earth that is beneath you iron. Jehovah will give power and dust as the rain of your land. From the heavens it will come down upon you until you have been annihilated. Jehovah will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. By one way you will go out against them, but by 7 ways you will flee before them, and you must become a frightful object to all the earth's kingdoms. And your dead body must become food for every flying creature of the heavens, and to the beast of the field, with no one to make them tremble. Jehovah will strike you with the boil of Egypt, and piles, and eczema, and skin eruption, from which you will not be able to be healed. Jehovah will strike you with madness, and loss of sight, and bewilderment of heart. And you will indeed become one who gropes about at midday, just as a blind man gropes about in the gloom, and you will not make your ways successful. And you must become only one who is always defrauded and robbed, with no one to save you. You will become engaged to a woman, but another man will rape her. You will build a house, but you will not dwell in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will not begin to use it. Your bull slaughtered there before your eyes, but you will not eat any of it. Your ass taken in robbery from before your face, but it will not return to you. Your sheep given to your enemies, but you will have no savior. Your sons and your daughters given to another people, and your eyes looking on and yearning for them always, but your hands will be without power. The fruitage of your ground and all your production, a people will eat whom you have not known, and you must become one who is only defrauded and crushed always. And you will certainly become maddened at the sight of your eyes that you will see. Jehovah will strike you with a malignant boil upon both knees and both legs, from which you will not be able to be healed. From the sole of your foot to the crown of your head, Jehovah will march you and your king, whom you will set up over you to a nation whom you have not known, neither you nor your forefathers, or there you will have to serve other gods of wood and stone. And you must become an object of astonishment, a proverbial saying, and a taunt among all the peoples to whom Jehovah will lead you away. A lot of seed you will take out to the field, but little will you gather, because the locust will devour it. Vineyards you will plant and certainly cultivate, but you will drink no wine and gather nothing in, because the worm will eat it up. You will come to have olive trees in all your territory, but you will rub yourself with no oil, because your olives will drop off. Sons and daughters you will bring forth, but they will not continue yours, because they will go off into captivity. All your trees and the fruitage of your ground, whirring insects will take in possession. The alien resident who is in your midst will keep ascending higher and higher above you, while you will keep descending lower and lower. He will be the one to lend to you, while you will not lend to him. He will become the head, while you will become the tail. And all these maledictions will certainly come upon you and pursue you and overtake you until you have been annihilated, because you did not listen to the voice of Jehovah your God by keeping his commandments and his statutes that he commanded you. And they must continue on you and your offspring as a sign and a portent to time indefinite, due to the fact that you did not serve Jehovah your God with rejoicing and joy of heart for the abundance of everything. And you will have to serve your enemies, whom Jehovah will send against you with hunger and thirst and nakedness and the want of everything. And he will certainly put an iron yoke upon your neck until he has annihilated you. Jehovah will raise up against you a nation far away from the end of the earth, just as an eagle pounces, a nation whose tongue you will not understand, a nation fierce in countenance, who will not be partial to an old man, or show favor to a young man. And they will certainly eat the fruit of your domestic animals and the fruitage of your ground, till you have been annihilated. And they will let no grain, new wine, or oil, no young of your cattle, or progeny of your flock remain for you, until they have destroyed you. And they will indeed besiege you within all your gates, until your high and fortified walls in which you are trusting fall in all your land. Yes, they will certainly besiege you within all your gates, in all your land, which Jehovah your God has given you. Then you will have to eat the fruit of your belly, the flesh of your sons and your daughters, whom Jehovah your God has given you, because of the tightness and stress with which your enemy will hem you in. As for the very delicate and dainty man among you, his eye will be evil inclined toward his brother and his cherished wife, and the remainder of his sons, whom he has remaining, so as not to give one of them any of the flesh of his sons that he will eat, because he has nothing at all remaining to him, because of the tightness and stress with which your enemy will hem you in within all your gates. As for the delicate and dainty woman among you, who never attempted to set the sole of her foot upon the earth for being of dainty habit, and for delicateness, her eye will be evil inclined toward her cherished husband and her son and her daughter, even toward her afterbirth that comes out from between her legs, and toward her sons, whom she proceeded to bear, because she will eat them in secrecy, for the want of everything, because of the tightness and stress with which your enemy will hem you in within your gates. If you will not take care to carry out all the words of this law that are written in this book, so as to fear this glorious and fear-inspiring name, even Jehovah your God, Jehovah also will certainly make your plagues, and the plagues of your offspring especially severe, great and long-lasting plagues, and malignant and long-lasting sicknesses. And he will indeed bring back upon you all the diseases of Egypt, before which you got scared, and they will certainly hang on to you. Also, any sickness and any plague that is not written in the book of this law, Jehovah will bring them upon you, until you have been annihilated, and you will indeed be left with very few in number, although you have become like the stars of the heavens for multitude, because you did not listen to the voice of Jehovah your God. And it must occur that just as Jehovah exalted over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Jehovah will exalt over you to destroy you and to annihilate you, and you will simply be torn away from off the soil to which you are going to take possession of it. And Jehovah will certainly scatter you among all the peoples, from the one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, and there you will have to serve other gods whom you have not known, neither you nor your forefathers, wood and stone. And among those nations you will have no ease, nor will there prove to be any resting place for the sole of your foot. And Jehovah will indeed give you there a trembling heart, and a failing of the eyes, and despair of the soul. And you will certainly be in the greatest peril for your life, and be in dread night and day, and you will not be sure of your life. In the morning you will say, if it only were evening, and in the evening you will say, if it only were morning, because of the dread of your heart, in which you will be in dread, and because of the sight of your eyes that you will see. And Jehovah will certainly bring you back to Egypt by ships, by the way about which I have said to you. You will never see it again, and you will have to sell yourselves there to your enemies as slave men and maidservants. But there will be no buyer.